Good afternoon, good evening, good night to every single person that is listening, that has logged on, everybody that is here. Fantastic, fantastic. Can you just drop your name, where you are, um, what student you have at Pearl Dance Academy, or a person you know at Pearl Dance Academy? You can put them in the chat box. Let us know. We are here for Parent Chats with Pearl, and I'm super excited to have this session today. Uh, super excited to have this session today. Yes, yes, yes. All right, all right. Session today. Yes, yes, yes. Just making sure everything is working nice and smoothly. All right, we are going to get started with this evening's session. Just 2 minutes after 7, but we are getting started nonetheless because we have some really good things to talk about with a very special parent of Pearls Dance Academy. She is none other than Suzanne Barker-Small. She's been with Pearls Dance Academy from inception, almost inception, but real close to inception. And she started with one daughter at the school. And then there were two daughters at the school. And then there were three daughters at the school at Pearls Dance Academy. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with daughter number 4? They just might join Pearls Dance Academy and start at Pearls Dance Academy as well. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Right? But she's been with the school for so long. And like I said, she is a mother, and a wife, and a businesswoman, and a coach, and a minister, and so many hats that she wears, and a friend, and everything. We want to talk about how she is able to balance and manage the work from home situation. All right. So with Parent Chats with Pearl, we are very keen on making sure that we chat with our parents and we encourage a conversation where parents can share from their heart about how they are facing and how they're going through this season. And so without further ado, I am going to add Suzanne to our conversation, because I feel like as a mother, she has so much value to share. I'm going to be asking her some questions, and along the way, you can add some of your own as well. So we have Miss Suzanne right here on the screen. Good afternoon, good evening, madam.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. All right. So I want you to tell us really quickly, in a nutshell, what your typical, if there's such a thing, what your typical day on lockdown has looked like so far.
Wow, that is a loaded question. Okay, so I am an attorney at law by profession. So that means attending court, and court for me now is online. And in addition to that being online, I also have 4 of my 5 children attending Google Classroom at the same time. And yes, so that's a 16-year-old, now 13, now 11, and a 6-year-old online at the same time. And a toddler who is not on Google Classroom running through the house. And the 6-year-old is the biggest challenge because she's not one to sit in a class and, which is online, and keep quiet, really. And so I have to be monitoring her whilst I'm doing my work. I have a big sign on my door to my office that says, stop in an online court meeting, but that means nothing to them. They still knock on the door and coming, mommy, this, that, whatever. And I have to manage that. Whereas my husband in this whole affair, well, if he's not restricted, he is from working, that is, he is at work. And if he is on lockdown, like we all are right now, then he's here. And he would help where he can in terms of trying to keep everybody out of my hair. But nobody does it like mommy for certain things. And so that bears a different kind of challenge. And then, of course, there is having to make sure everybody's eating, running out of my office to cook and make sure the food don't burn. That that type of thing. And then there are the other meetings and so on that I have to be a part of. So my day is usually filled with a lot of online activity, a lot of supervisory things going on, having to make decisions on the cuff, having 10 minutes to prepare a document and email it. That's pretty much how it goes. And then there are the other mommy things that has to be done. Hair has to comb so that when they go to their Google Classroom, the teacher doesn't ask them what happened to your head. All of these mommy things that have to be done. It is challenging. It's very challenging because my son is doing CXCs this year, and Daniella is doing Common Entrance as well.
Oh dear.
So added, yes. So all of that is added to the mix. Mommy, I have my SBA to do. I need this. I need that. Mommy, I need your phone because they have to, take this picture or do this other thing. So on top of all of that, you have that added pressure because of all those pending exams. But even though it's a lot of pressure, what I do is try to take one day at a time and take the minutes as they come and not try to manage today based off of what happened yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And how does that work for you? Do you find that that typically works, or you usually have some off days, some down days, or like how does that? What's that really look like for you?
I
And
do have down days. I do have off days where it just does not work. And that is basically because most of the time it is Zariah's fault. She's just not staying in the class and she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. And so what I have had to do on some occasions is just don't work until her classes are done. And then when her class is finished, then I start my work. And then I try to, finish at a reasonable hour in the night. But on a good day, she's in her class, I'm doing my work, everybody's doing their Google Classroom and so on. Yeah, that's a good day. That's a very good day. That's a very good day. But I find that, as I said, trying to not match yesterday to today and trying to take it as it comes, because as I said, I still have Nayara, the toddler, just turned 2 in January, running throughout the house in Pampers. And telling me, mommy, my pamper wants changing and all these nice things. In between, in the mix of all of that, going into the other kids' Google Classroom classes and saying hi to their teacher and all of that she's doing. So I just have to just choose not to be stressed regardless of what happens,
yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Where did you find that perspective about not bringing yesterday into today? Where did you find that? Because somebody, a parent, may be listening and they may be
Mm-hmm.
saying that made so much sense, but how do I get that done? Like, first of all, where did you get that source from? And
Mm-hmm.
like, how can a parent do the same thing? What are some
Okay,
practical things a parent can do?
got you covered. So I got it from the Bible, actually, where it says, let tomorrow worry about itself. And I took that literally,
Mm,
literally. And I would say that started when I I think when I was pregnant with one of them, and it was a lot to do. It was a lot to be pregnant at that time. I had about 6 staff under my management at the time, and doing that and being pregnant and trying to get my work done and still managing all of my other million things that I did at the time was really rough. And
Mm,
I made a mental decision to let tomorrow worry about itself.
mm-hmm,
Um, so for the parent who's listening and wants to know how on earth do I do that when there's so many things to be done tomorrow, what I do is um, I would write a list of what has to be done tomorrow
mm,
or another day. And if any of those things can be done in the day that I have, I would try to do that, and knock those off. But if it can't be done, I just say it can't be done and move on.
mm, mm-hmm,
Um, if, as I said, if Zariah is not keeping quiet in class, I just tell myself, okay, as long as I'm not in a court meeting, that is, and as long as my husband is not here, I say, well, okay, today is not like yesterday, so I have to adjust. And
mm-hmm,
I stay out with her, make sure she does what she has to do, and then I go and do my work. And I tell Savannah or somebody else, listen, y'all go find something to eat because I am not cooking right now. Rather than to say, I have to cook or whatever. My husband does cook and tastes really good too. But
nice.
but he is not the one to be in the kitchen all the time. He cooks by motivation, really.
Mm-hmm,
And so I am the one who does the bulk of the cooking. But there are times when I say, look, y'all can go find something to eat cheese and bread or something because I am not cooking today. I spent X amount of time dealing with X thing, and therefore
mm-hmm,
I am going to work right now because I have X to do. What does that mean if you think there's something that can't be left till tomorrow or the next day or the next day? It has to be done today. Well, then it means you gotta prioritize. And as I said, choose to leave out something
mm-hmm,
rather than stress yourself. And you have to have some kind of me time, something that is your time, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like for me, if I go in the bath, I tell everybody, do not come in here, you know, just don't come in here. I need 5 minutes to bathe. Thank you. Don't ask me for anything. So even if it's that you take for yourself to do that, or you can't take on everybody's challenges because everybody's challenges will become yours and they're really not. I can't sit, my son CXCs for him. They each have to do their own work.
mm-hmm,
And so I rather than quarrel with them all day, why are you studying, why you're not revising, and take on that stress as mine. I basically ask them, are you doing your work? Are you doing your homework, whatever, and leave it to them. Because their
mm-hmm,
effort is their effort. Their effort is not mine.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about your me time. And I guess so many times parents, I can only speak from what I hear. Many times parents, that they're busy either doing this for the child, doing this for the husband, doing this for the mom, doing this for, just doing a lot. But the doing doesn't have anything to do with what they're doing
Yeah.
for themselves. So, what are so many things you do for yourself in the midst of 5 children, a husband, bunch of work responsibilities? How do you find time for Suzanne?
Well, I find that I am a night owl. I prefer to work later in the afternoon and into late. I can work right through the night if you don't stop me. Um, I can. And that came from study habits that I would have had from the time I was studying law, from way back, way back. I was
Mm-hmm.
always the last to leave the library, that kind of thing, because I am a night owl. So what I
Mm-hmm.
have done is use that to my advantage, right? Um, so I would work, as I said, in the evening on occasion. I don't do it every day, right? Into the night. And then what I do when everybody has gone to bed and I have that time for myself, I would either choose to continue working or go watch something I always want to watch, you know, um, get something for myself that I want to eat, you
Mm-hmm.
know, just take 5 minutes.
When you don't have other people trying to get your food off your plate from you.
Pretty much. How do you know so well? And just try to find a time that I can do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the nature of my work means that I am not one that has to, get up and be at work for 8 or 8:30 or whatever that time is. Um, so what I have done on occasion is I would work late, 3, 4 o'clock, and then go to sleep and
Mm-hmm.
get up late. And just by getting up late, you do not know how relaxing that is. It feels great when you get up late and you lounge around, and then most times I would end back up working in the same evening, afternoon time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that helps. If you can do it, you could try doing that rather
Mm-hmm.
than working late and then getting up the same time, and really busting out yourself. If you can't do that and you have a job where you need to be at work early, you have to get the kids somewhere early, and your days just run, 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 run. Well, there's something called a lunchtime
Mm-hmm.
that you have, and you don't necessarily have to spend it in the lunchroom with whoever other staff members you have. You don't have to spend it the way how everybody else does. I mean, I have a friend who worked at a bank. And this gentleman used to leave work at lunchtime and go to the beach and go for a swim and come back. And you would never know that's what he did. He did that for
Nice.
himself. So I'm saying
That's
you don't
nice.
have to you don't have to do what he did and go for a swim, but you
Mm-hmm.
can go and sit at the beach in your lunchtime, look at the birds, look at the ocean. You can go somewhere else for a change of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be when people hear me time, they think is a whole hour soaking in
Oh,
a bathtub or whatever. It does not have to be that. It can be 5, 10, 15 minutes. You just need a recharge time.
a recharge time.
Yeah, you just need a recharge time. Even if it means that when you take your bath and you got a nice little foot soak thingy, and you put that on your foot and you feeling all good and pepperminty,
Yeah.
something. Just do
Yeah.
something that's different.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
something that is for you. And all of
Yeah.
that helps you to recharge. My name
Mm.
gets called, not my name, but my husband calls my name, but my children, mommy, 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 mommy. 5 different people calling my name all day. I mean, that can be annoying and stressful. But what I do is I have chosen, this is another thing that I've done. I have chosen to be grateful for them,
Mm.
right? To start there, be grateful for them. So when they call me mommy, I'm grateful that I have them to call me mommy. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the fact that they can call me mommy because I have one who cannot call me mommy because
Mm.
he is now deceased. And
Mm.
so I start with the measure of gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
and so that when they call my name or what I seem to be annoying sometimes or whatever, and once I start there by just being grateful that they are here, present,
Mm-hmm.
active, whatever, it kind of helps me to reframe how I approach them, how I
Mm-hmm.
approach my day, how I see them. Because if I see them as annoying, I'm going to be stressed. I am. I will stress out myself. Um, if I see them as a gift to me, if I see them as a reason for me to be grateful, that changes everything. So when
Mm.
it's not sitting on in class and doing what she's supposed to do, um, it stressed me out at first. It was very frustrating. But then I just said, you know what? This is her. This is how she is. She needs
Mm.
a face-to-face interaction. This is not her method, and I have to work with her. And the time I accepted that that's the case, it helped me tremendously. Right? So
Mm.
gratitude, acceptance, taking some time, even if it's 5 minutes, and letting tomorrow worry about itself.
Let him tomorrow work for yourself. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think those are
Pretty much.
practical.
Yes.
And sometimes you can forget uh, how simple it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can forget how simple it
Yeah.
is, and you just
You can.
get so caught up, and then feel bad that you're not doing what you want to do because somehow your thinking is
Mm-hmm.
like this big thing that you have to do. But you could start as small as, like you said, just foot scrub, something that's like just for you. Even if it means taking up a pair of
Yes.
earrings that you love and wearing them at
Mm-hmm.
home. Because I mean, you're going nowhere, but you're working from home. Just put on some
Mm-hmm.
earrings or something that makes you feel
Yep.
fantastic, even though you're home. And it's the
Well,
simple ways and the simple ways.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you mentioned jewelry, and I have to give kudos to Michelle Man who made these for me. Just high note.
Another PDA mommy.
Um, because I I went through my jewelry stuff and saw all the things my kids brought, pulled off, one earring missing, all of this, and I said, this is not good for me. Because every time I have to go and choose jewelry or whatever, it's always what is left from what they damaged. As
Yes, man.
babies and toddlers, they pull and mash up everything and whatever. And I called Michelle. I said, look, Michelle, this is not treating myself good, you know? So sort me out. And she took
Sorry.
all of my jewelry that I had from before that was broken or whatever, and she made new pieces with them. So I just mentioned that because that's the way you can treat yourself. You're not doing it
Mhm.
for yourself. But when you get you feel great. You go like, whoa, I actually have pieces that I can wear. Hallelujah. And when you do things like that for yourself, you put yourself in the picture, which is another thing I want to say. You have to put yourself in
Mhm.
the picture. If you are a parent, you are a parent because you have a child, right? That child is a gift to you, but that child is not the all in all in everything. There was a
Mhm.
you before there was the child. So you have to put yourself in the whole picture, right? I have 5 living children, but when I was dealing with the one who is now deceased, I had to put myself in that picture. I have to say,
Mm.
I have a son, he's ill, so and so, and be present in that
Mhm.
situation so that it's not
Mhm.
outside of me, because
Mm.
that would have driven me nuts as well if I had let it happen, if I had let it drive me crazy. But it
Mm.
didn't, because I put myself in it. I chose to be present. I chose to accept what was going on at the time that it was going on. I prayed and everything, but when it happened, I accepted the outcome. And I think that has a lot to do with it. So that's just a parallel story. But in your
Mhm.
everyday, you have to accept where you are. I have this, I don't have these resources, I don't have that resource. I have 5 hours to do this, and I have these responsibility. If you're a single parent and you have nobody to help you and you're doing your masters, or you're studying elsewhere, you're working 8 to whatever, it is going to be challenging for you. But guess what? You're gonna have
Mhm.
to do something that helps you. So change the child's bedtime, right? To an hour earlier so that you have time for yourself. You know, um, if you study till 10 o'clock, study till 9, right?
Mm.
Do something that helps you do it for yourself, right? So that you are in the picture.
So you're talking about placing yourself in the picture, and I think that's an offshoot from finding some time for you and doing something for you that you
Yeah.
like and enjoy. I think it goes hand in hand with that. The other
Yeah.
question that I have is, how then do you manage the work side of life? Okay, so we've talked about the children, we've talked about putting you in the picture, but then how does your mind work in terms of the responsibilities you have for your job and the environment that you're in?
Okay, so the environment that I'm in and my job don't really go hand in hand. You know, a house full of children trying to do a judge, who's calling my name. They don't really go so well right now. Um,
Mm,
but how do I manage? What do I do is, as I said, I try to set boundaries, right? So I
by
tell the
putting a
children,
sign on your door.
put a sign on my door that's part of my boundary. And I tell them, do not come in here. I am going into my office now. Do not come in here at this time because I am with a judge. If you open the door, you're going to have to speak to the judge. So do not come. Right. And then there's, of course, deadlines they have to meet, things that have to be filed by a certain time, research that has to be done, and so on. But this is what I have done, and it has helped me tremendously. Ask for help.
Mm,
Try not to do every single thing
ask for
yourself.
help.
I pick up the phone, I call my colleagues, and I say, look, you see this? I can't finish this by 5 o'clock. So if you could draft this application for me, I could send you the information. You can send it back to me, please and thanks. Right?
What,
Uh,
what, what about the person who thinks or would say that they don't have anybody that they can ask for help?
Ask for time. Go
Ah,
to whoever it is
okay.
that set the limit, set the deadline, and say, I cannot do this. Let me
Mm-hmm.
boil this down for you. Tell the truth.
Okay.
Tell
Yeah.
the truth to
Yeah.
yourself and tell the truth to those you are accountable to. Right? Now, when I come on the court meeting, I don't tell the judge that I got a handful of children. But I tell the legal assistant, for the judge that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I am at home. I have X amount of kids, whatever. So you need to give me a time when this court hearing is going to be so that I can organize my time accordingly. I cannot sit in front of my computer for X amount of time waiting for you to come on. I need a time. So
Mm.
if that's not the norm, I set that as my boundary for myself,
Okay.
right? As I said, if I need help, I call and I ask for it from whoever, as long as I can get help. And if I can't, and it's something I have to do for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
there's nobody who can help me, I take stock, I take responsibility for it, and I buckle down and get it done. If it's not happening, I write and I request some kind of extension. I remember once I had a submission to write and it had to be in by the 4th of February. I remember this. And I could not finish this thing. I mean, it just was not happening. Right. And I wrote the other side and I said, look, you can bring this up that I did not, bring it to you on this date, but I am asking you for your lenience because these are my circumstances. And
Mm-hmm.
they eventually they didn't bring it up that it was late. It was not her issue, and the matter went forward. And I learned from that situation, and so I apply it to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for help. Tell the
Mm-hmm.
truth. If you are stressed out, tell yourself the truth. I am
Mm.
stressed out. I need 5 minutes. I need 10 minutes. Go and lay down in chair. Do not call my name for 5 minutes. Thank you. I am laying down right here. Things like that. Those little things count. They help you a lot. Because when you
Mm.
lay down for 5 minutes, and you tell, do not bother me for 5 minutes, and you get up from your 5 minutes, you had your 5 minutes time, you can now approach whatever else is coming to you, but you have to do it. Tell the truth to
Tell the truth.
yourself and to whoever else.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell the truth. Set boundaries for yourself.
Yep,
Put yourself in
the
the picture.
picture. Hmm.
Put yourself in the picture. Set boundaries for yourself.
Be
You know,
present.
and be present and be grateful for what you
Yes.
have. Grateful for your children. Grateful
Hmm.
that you can be called mommy.
Yep, that's right.
Um, yeah, yeah. So the work from home balance, I mean, everybody is having to do it. Even if
Yeah,
you are not working from home, hours are cut shorter, so some things still have to come home anyways, even though you're not classified as working from home. So it's something that many people are dealing with, many parents are dealing
yeah.
with right now. What would you say as an encouragement as we look to wrap up this conversation? What
Hmm.
would you say as an encouragement to parents who are listening that feel like they're probably at their last straw with this whole COVID thing and this whole work from home thing? And then, so that's one extreme. And then there might be some parents that are good. They don't think that they have any challenges or anything. So how would you talk to these two parents differently, and what would you say to them?
Well, to the one who are having the ones who are having challenges, um, if you never pray before, start because that helps you to appeal to a higher person
Mm-hmm.
who is able to help you. I do that. I try to depend on God to help me. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say try to, if you're working at home from home, try to juggle up the way how you do things. Try not
Okay.
to do it the same way all the time because it's that routine along with, okay, there's good routine and there's bad routine. Let me just say that, right? If you have a routine and it's working for you and you feel productive and you're not stressed, keep it. But if you recognize that you're stressed and it's affecting how you deal with the very children who call you mommy, then you have to change something. So change the routine, change the way how you do it. Find a
Mm-hmm.
different place in the house maybe to work from. Work from your gallery, work from your bedroom tomorrow, work from the table the next day. Change it up.
Move it up.
Um, talk to somebody else. Find somebody else that you can talk to about how you feel. Maybe 10 minutes in your day, pick up the phone, call your mother, call somebody. Just have a different conversation other than work,
Work. Yeah.
right? Um, as I said, if you're working, you could get the tub, put some meat in it, and put your feet in it while you're working.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
yeah, do something that is different that helps you to take the stress away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, find a book that you can read and that is different to all the work that you are doing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're like in a management position or even if it's a job where you have to use your hands a lot or something, do something that is not related to the job that you do already. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, my job is reading, a lot of reading. Um, and so if I want to do something different, it will not be reading. you
Right.
know,
Got
it'll
you.
be laying down doing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
watching TV or doing something completely different
Mm-hmm.
because reading is like work for me, right?
Right. You
Right.
associate reading with a work activity, although it's not always. I
Yes,
see what
it's
you
not, yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Right. And I like reading, so I can pick up a book and, read whatever, but I hate reading a book in parts,
Mm-hmm.
disjointed. And so, because I know that's frustrating for me, I don't start to read a book unless I know I have the time to do it. Right. So
Got
things
you.
like that, you gotta talk to somebody, you gotta pray, you gotta, you, yeah, you gotta do something for yourself, change the way how you do it, And again, appreciate your children and value them and give them boundaries. Tell them
Yeah.
that you are working. These are
Yeah.
the boundaries you set for yourself. This is your time to do X, Y, or Z. Color or whatever. But I am working. Do not come over here. Set boundaries. It's going to not work for a couple of times, but they will eventually get used to that. To the person who has no problem whatsoever and they're happy working from home and everything is jolly, this is what I would say to you too. I would say help somebody else.
Ah.
Right? Call somebody else, encourage them, tell them what you're doing that's working. Help somebody else, pull somebody
Mm-hmm.
else along.
Mm-hmm.
If you are working and you can help somebody who's stressed financial, give, right? You don't have to let your left hand. You can motivate somebody. You can
Mm-hmm.
post something online that is motivational that somebody can pull from because you're feeling great and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
This is COVID and so on, so we know people can't come over. There are a lot of parents who are home by themselves with these children day and night, 24 hours, and they have to work from home. It is not easy. It is
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's very hard to keep children engaged during the time. But guess what? If you give those children an hour of your time and you do something with them, do a puzzle, do something, um, they value that. So when you tell them the next time I'm going to do something with you or I'm going to get back to you, they believe you. But if
Yeah.
you're working all the time and you ignore the poor children, they're gonna make your life miserable because you're ignoring them, right? And if
Mm.
they come up with a project, let them do it. You know, my kids use up all my paper, but you have to let them do it. You gotta let them do it because they're bored too.
Yeah.
They're stressed out too, and they need an outlet. So give it to them,
Mm-hmm.
put them
Mm-hmm.
outside if you have the space, if you have a lawn or something, put them outside, let them run out. You know, take some chalk or something or rock or whatever, draw hopscotch outside, do something with
Mm-hmm.
them, that they know that when the time is coming that you will give to them. You will
Mm-hmm.
give your time to them. They want your time, which is why they will bother you because they want your time. Sit down, watch a movie. My kids and I like to watch Biggest Loser. So we sit down, watch that, compare all the people and what they weighed before and what they weigh now. We sit down, we do that. We watch that with the children. So they come to me and say, "We're not watching Biggest Loser today, mommy. You gotta watch that." Or whatever. Because they know that's what I do with them. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to do something that they know, right? That when you
Mm-hmm.
say, "Give me 5 minutes, I will get to you," they believe you.
Mm-hmm.
They believe you. So it's
I've,
not easy. It's not easy. Every day is not easy at
I,
all. But one day
I
at a time.
I take my hat off to all of you mothers, legit, because I can only imagine. I mean, as it is for me, it's like there's a lot going on and so much to do. So I could only imagine what it's like for parents, and that's why I'm super happy to have these parent chats with Pearl. Side note, so that I could get some tips for when I become a mother, but also to provide the environment where parents can hear that they're not alone in what they're dealing with. They're not like in their house
That's
because
right.
so many times with this COVID season and you're in lockdown, you can tend to feel like it's just you, only you in your house with your situation going on, and it's
That's
just
right.
you. So these parent chats with Pearl are supposed to help persons realize it ain't just you, somebody else. You can relate to them. They have five, you may have two children, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But then there's somebody that has five, and you're hearing, okay, she's able to manage somehow. Like, let me listen to her because she gotta be doing something. So I am
Yeah.
happy for these parent chats with Pearl opportunities because it really provides a platform for these type of conversations to happen. So on that note, I want to know if there's any of our persons that are listening and watching, if they have any questions for Suzanne. Any questions at all, from one parent to another. What is one thing you would like to answer? Just hear another opinion on something that you may be dealing with, something you might have heard about from a friend of yours, and how they're dealing with something like. Or do you have any questions whatsoever from this awesome parent that we have in Suzanne Barker-Small? And while you guys send in your questions that you have, I will take the time to, first of all, thank Suzanne for taking her time, right, to be able to come and just talk with us and to share her story, to share her truth, to share what she's able to do and how she's able to do it, and to hear too that it's not easy.
Nope.
Because somehow we tend to think it should be easy.
Mm-hmm. You have
And
to have a
then,
clear mind.
have a
Clear.
clear mind. And I
Clear.
think one of the things you said that helps with that is the gratitude and just how you choose to
Yep.
see each day. You
Yep.
choose to see each day as just that, this day, not
Today.
yesterday and
That's
today,
right.
but
That's
just
right.
today only. And that
That,
that is strong. That is so strong, because naturally sometimes you can just go into default of
yeah.
bringing. I didn't have, it was a struggle to pull the meal together. It was a struggle to pull the meals together yesterday. So you come into today feeling like, like it's already a struggle. So all of that just
Mm-hmm.
piling on top of each other. So by the time you get to
Mm-hmm.
the end of the week, you just a whole mess.
Yeah.
We have a question here. I'm bringing it up on the screen. Does Suzanne have any hobbies? That's the question.
Oh Lord. Suzanne has hobbies. What I do though is what's the word I want to use? What's the word? What's the word? I kind of allocate them to different seasons of my life. So
Okay.
Suzanne likes to sing. She of course likes to dance. Hi. Because I danced for a long time in my life too. Um and I like to read, as I said, right? And there
Mhm.
was a time when I like to do a lot of craft, but I don't get around to that anymore. But those are the main ones: singing, dancing, reading, you know, anything like that. I like a good conversation, if you want to call that a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, anything that's creative, I would say. I'm a creative person, so once it falls into that category, then you've got my attention. So I do those, but what I don't do is go like this is something I have to do every day or every month or every week or whatever. I just leave it as I like to do this, and when the season comes
You do
and
it.
I can do it, then I do it. If the
Hmm.
season isn't there, I don't stress myself. It will come around another time, another day, another season, or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a nice outlook too, because sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to
yeah,
maintain a particular thing
yeah.
when you just say we are super multi-dimensional beings, us women. I know there might be some fathers that are watching, some males watching too. I mean, and we all are as God's creation, but I think there's a special little dose for females,
Mm-hmm,
because we know our emotions, our ways of being, they go in different seasons, they go in different ways, and
mm-hmm.
we just want to be able to express that and not feel any way
Yeah,
about doing it. So Corinne just says
that's right.
100 and heart to what you said. So thank you,
That's right.
Corinne, for that question, and for you guys just saying good night and just saying who you are and all of that in our chats as well. This is just going to be on our page, so you encourage a parent that wasn't on, or somebody that you feel that you can pass this information to, just tell them to hop on Pearl Dance Academy's page, our Facebook page, and they'll see this recording, and it'll just be there. And we will be having another parent chats with Pearl next week, Thursday, though, not Friday. Next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock. We are going to be talking about The food dilemma. We are going to be talking about the food dilemma next week, Thursday, because we know the juggle, the
Oh,
juggle is real.
yes, that's the
When it
dilemma.
comes to feeding, when it comes to, you know, I mean, you're not able to get to the supermarket, or the supermarket now doesn't have half of the things that you usually buy because everybody has bought
Mm-hmm.
them out and all just these different things. You just gotta manage and
Yep.
everything. Food dilemma. That's what we're talking about next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock. So if you are on tonight, we want to see you on next week, Thursday. And
Mm-hmm.
if you know anybody, you guys definitely know people. You know anybody, you can tell them come on these parent chats with Pearls, because at the end of the day, this is for you guys. So I just want to encourage you all in that. So that's one announcement I have, that next week we are going to be chatting with Tuyan Lane. She is a parent at Pearls Dance Academy. All the parent chats are with parents. Okay, so we get to highlight and feature our wonderful parents at Pearls Dance Academy as well. So the food dilemma is going to be with Tuyan Lane. She's going to be sharing how she manages with that. A mother of three. We also are approaching Easter break at Pearls Dance Academy. Just a quick Easter break, but we'll definitely be sending information about that in your emails about your subscription and just how everything works and all of that. Nothing new, just reminders. And that is also coming up around the corner. And enrollment is definitely open for persons who are interested in starting Pearls Dance Academy, becoming a student, and we go through the consultation pathway. If you're interested in that, you could drop us a message or in the chat, or you can send us a Facebook message, or you can go to our Instagram page, and the links and everything are all there in our bio for you to be able to, sign up and have your consultation done. So if there are no further questions that we have this evening, I want to thank Suzanne. Thanks, Suzanne, for kicking the ball off and being the first parent in season 2. Because Corrine, right here, that was asking some questions, she was one of our parents in season 1. So I'm happy to see her here and engaging. And so I thank Suzanne for being on today and just sharing her story and helping everybody out with what she's doing to balance, to balance.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So if there are no further questions, Suzanne has nothing more that she has to share on her heart, because I know how it can be.
Well, let me say this, right? Let me say this to the parents of PDA. You have creative children, which is why they're at PDA, because they dance, they're creative, and so on. So you can probably try to use this time to draw out of them all the creativity that's in there, and try to spend some time with them to help them bring that out. It's not easy, as I said, working from home and doing everything else that you're supposed to do. But I will let you to, especially the mothers out there, relook your definition of yourself.
Hmm.
Look at it again. What's the definition of mommy? What are you? Who are you to
Love
your family? Who
the
are you
best.
to your children? What was your role? What are you supposed to do? And if you recognize that that list is too long, then it means you have to look at it again, and try to um get the children to understand what you're doing for them and how you want to do it. As I said, set boundaries and things like that. But just have a look again at yourself. Um, Try to put yourself in a picture that is good for you. Because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, if you're not healthy, if you're not mentally sound, if you're not all these things, then you can't help the child who's following
Mhm.
you. They're looking at you, they're modeling you, they're looking at how you're dealing with life, and
Mhm.
they're going to want to do that themselves when they become like you. So just tell yourself, do you want to be the stressed out mommy or daddy? or do you want to be the one that can add value to their lives?
Mm. So
So
relook,
redefine yourself.
redefine yourself. That's a good
Relook
way to
the
put it.
definition of yourself.
Of yourself. Relook the definition of you.
Yep.
That sound like a chapter in a book or something like that.
Well, that's what I did. And as I said, I got a million people calling my name all the time, and I had to
Mhm,
look and say, okay, what am I to these people?
mhm,
What is my role in their lives? What can I say that I am not gonna do anymore? I am not
mhm,
washing wares. That's my son's job right now. I am not gonna be doing this, or if you're in a situation where you have nobody else to do it but you can relook how you do it, how
mhm,
often you do it.
mhm,
You know, that the thing, some things are not going to go anywhere if they're not done. So just leave it alone, and instead of spending 10 minutes to wash your wares because you can't stand a sink with wares in it, well then spending 10 minutes for yourself. Wash
mhm,
your wares later. So,
mhm,
just have a relook at it. Look at it again.
mhm. We actually have a question here. I'm going to put it on the screen. How do
Mhm.
you balance the screen time and electronic devices for your children while you are in your office working?
Mm. That is a challenge. We are still in the battle with that one. The challenge is that they're online for school, right? And they're online all day, with their devices.
Mhm,
And when they're finished, they see their relaxation time as doing something else on the same device, you know, YouTube or whatever it is on the same very device. So what my husband did, I have to give him credit for this, is, around 3-ish or that kind of time, he said, look, go outside, or y'all go outside, you know, and go play outside, go find something outside to do, go and exercise or something. He puts them outside, and he goes outside with them as well too. And sometimes I use that time to either go outside with them or get my work done whilst they're
mhm,
outside.
mhm,
Um, but the screen, I mean, Savannah started to get headaches because of the screen time, that she was doing her work, then doing her homework, and then of course there's PDA classes in the evening as well, and so on. So she started to get some headaches. But what we did with her is, once she's finished school, between the time she's finished school and the time she's doing her PDA classes or whatever else she wants to do, we try to tell her, to do something else. So again, she would go outside if my husband tells them go outside or whatever the case may be. But
mhm,
it is a battle. The kids want to be on their devices, but again, you have to set boundaries. You have to tell them enough is enough.
mhm.
Come off now. You have an hour. I have curfews on, I used to have curfews on some of their tablets before. When Savannah had a phone, she couldn't use it after a certain time because I have a curfew on it. um Zariah has a curfew on her tablet as well. There are parental controls you can use to family link and all
I,
different things.
I wanna ask specifically though
Hmm.
about when you are in your workspace and you can't manage what they're doing on their devices, or when they're
Hmm.
on online school, are they like paying attention, or like they on YouTube, or like running about the house, like how do you balance now, or how
Hmm.
do you manage, guess that's the right word, how do you manage you being at work but you then have to be supervising as well to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing on the screen.
On the screen. um but as I said, I use technology for that. So I have parental controls. I have my email address attached to all of their accounts. So if
Okay.
they download something, they have I would get an email telling me what they
Mhm.
downloaded, or if they, try to watch something else or whatever, they would need me to put a pin in their phone or their whatever to have
Okay.
access to it. So I use that to help me because I know that I cannot be watching them and doing my work at the same time.
Mhm.
It just can't work.
Mhm.
Um, if it is something that they already have access to, occasionally I would leave my office and I would say, "What are you watching? Let me see what you're looking at." Yeah.
And what have you found in some cases and in sometimes were they watching? Were they
Well,
outside
well,
time?
if they're supposed to be in class,
Mhm.
they're usually in class with the exception of Zariah. Right? So Savannah is very responsible, so I don't have to ask her anything. She is definitely in class. Daniella will stay in her class as well. My son will be on his class, but also on his phone playing some kind of was airplane simulation thing, landing some plane in London or whatever, Minecraft or whatever it is, whilst being in class. This is the one that has CXCs, you believe it? So, um, right. But what I did with him, because he's older, I basically told him, look, this is your time. What you put in now is what you will get out.
Mhm.
And my husband, I had a chat with him about what he's supposed to be doing and what the repercussions and consequences of his actions are.
Mhm.
And we kind of tried to give him a little bit more leeway in terms of trusting him to do the right thing. But we do still check on him and what he's doing and so on. My husband would be more alert with that than me because, as I said, I'm in my office, so he would try to, check and see what he's doing and so on.
Mhm.
But he knows that with the others, I have their accounts linked to my phone, so
Mhm.
my account, so I could pretty much tell what they're doing.
What
They
they're
can't
doing.
download certain things without me. They gotta come and say, "Mommy, I need your permission to do this
Mhm.
or download this or whatever the case may be." And I will always interrogate them, "What you want this for?" And you know, all the 12 yards. But it's not easy to do. But I would say technology does help
Make help.
a
Okay.
lot. It helps a lot. Yeah.
That's a very good question, Danelle. Thanks for asking that, because that's definitely a reality for many parents with
Yep.
everything being online. Like, how do you balance that screen time for school versus just, you know,
Mhm.
relaxation time
Yeah.
with your devices? So that's wonderful. So using technology to your advantage
Mhm.
uh, is a good tool. So the same very
And knowing
technology
their schedule.
and knowing their schedule.
Yeah, you
So
have to
yeah.
know their schedule, like when they have lunch, when they don't have lunch,
Mhm.
when they're supposed to be in class, what subjects they have, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. That helps a lot because if I
Mhm.
know that um, Savannah has class 9 till whatever time she has lunch, then she's finished class. So if I see that she's supposed to be finished at 2:35 and then 5 o'clock there's no Savannah, you
Mhm.
know, I know I got a problem. I gotta go and see
Mhm.
what this child's doing, right?
Mhm.
So usually when she's finished class, she would come, and check in and check for everybody else and see what's going on,
Not mother hen.
unless she has homework to do that will keep
Mhm.
her online or whatever.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
you have to be vigilant. You can't just leave them to their own devices, or they will
Literally.
definitely utilize the devices to their own,
Literally.
to their own thing. So like, right now I'm in this meeting with you and I don't have to worry because in a minute, Zariah's tablet will tell her that she has had enough for the day because the curfew will go off. It will stop working by itself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. So that does help.
Mhm. That's good. All right. So we are going to, where did we go? Where did Miss Grant? Right. We are going to close our first session out. I want to circle back real quick To that last thing Suzanne was saying before the last question came in, where she was just saying redefine. I think we want to end there, just redefining how you see yourself as a mom, as a
Yeah.
dad, as a parent, because that can help you to shift a lot of things for yourself. And on that note, I want to say that tomorrow I am attending. Susan gonna look at me like, wait, you're talking about this? I am attending a special virtual event tomorrow night at 8 p.m. with a top belief coach. His name is David Imonitie, and I have 15 passes. So if you know that you are sharp, you want to be able to, shift that definition that you have for yourself or get better at it, this definitely is the event that you want to go to and want to be in. If you are interested, you can definitely send me a message on WhatsApp. You can send you can send a message here saying I'm interested. I am interested. I will connect with you and give you the details. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. With David Imonitie. And just along the lines of what Suzanne was saying about making sure that you find things for you that help you move forward and become the best mom, become the best parent that you can be, in how you see yourself, in how you manage your home, in how you manage your finances, and how you manage just you and yourself. So if you're interested, definitely come on, let me know so that I can provide you the access for that. But without further ado, we are bringing our first session of Parent Chats with Pearl to a close. I think we got kicked off with a really good start, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the other nights are going to be like. So Suzanne, thank you very much again. I
You're
know
welcome.
we got loads of value from every nugget that you shared. And yeah, so have a great night, everyone. And we will see you next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock for Parent Chats with Pearl. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.